There have been insane riots going on around Delhi, and it's by the farmers of Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. Now, this is not a video from 2021. It's 2024 and it's coming around the time of elections, which does make some wonder if how much of politics is involved in it. Anyway, the main demand by the farmers now is the legalization of MSP, that is minimum support price. Along with that, there are multiple demands that the farmers made during the riots of 2021 that are not being fulfilled yet. As of now, all the meetings between the farming leaders and the government haven't amounted to anything. The most recent one is that the government proposed a 5-year plan to procure pulses, maize and cotton at MSP for the next 5 years. But the farmers union rejected them, saying that it was not in their best interest and that they want all 23 crops under MSP, especially mustard and oilseeds. So it's kind of a hot mess over there. Anyway, as I was reading all this, I became curious about this MSP and its role in Indian agriculture. As I read about it, I learned a lot and it was pretty interesting. So in this video, we're going to look at the history, purpose and impact of MSP over the years, why the government is hesitant to implement it full scale today, and also why the farmers are demanding it so much. The MSP, or minimum support price, is a price set by the government for certain agricultural products which would be bought directly from the farmers irrespective of outside conditions. With the government guarantee like that, the farmer can always sell at MSP if he or she cannot get a better price elsewhere. An obvious mechanism for the farmers to reduce losses and to have a sure source of income, especially since agriculture is a seasonal and an unstable occupation. The Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices, that is, we'll call them CSCP, sets the minimum prices twice a year, considering many factors such as cost of production, input prices, international prices, current demand, and so on and so forth. Now, the catch here is that the MSP is an informal support, which is just a complicated way of saying doing a favor, meaning it's not a legal policy. So it's entirely up to the government whether to implement it or not, whether to tweak and change it or not. Now, where did all this begin? The year is 1966 and our country was just out of the Bihar famine, droughts and war. Half of our population today depends on agriculture, and it was damn sure more back then. On top of that, we had food shortages and thereby malnutrition. So it was apparent that the agricultural economy needed a oomph or a boost, and that was when we had the green revolution with hybrid seeds, fertilizers and heavy irrigation. We went full guns blazing to increase production, mainly of rice and wheat, which, if you have noticed, we eat almost 3 times a day.
What about second breakfast?
Alright, 4 times a day. Out of these policies came this MSP to incentivize farmers, saying that all you have to do is produce and you don't have to worry about selling them or marketing. The first MSP price was set for wheat at rupees 54 per quintal, which is 1 quintal is 100 kg. Now, all these policies together lifted the country above the nightmare that we were in and transformed it into an agricultural surplus country. So you can see at that time it made sense because even though we were a semi-market economy, we didn't have the prerequisites for that. We were just 15 to 20 years from independence. Our farmers depended too much on rainfall. They were burdened with debts and poverty, and paddy and wheat are relatively hard to cultivate. But this has continued on for 50 years and we have gotten used to it. This has become a non-negotiable factor for Indian agriculture. The thing is, in reality also, only 23% of farmers in rural agricultural households are aware of MSP, and that awareness varies from 0 to 50% according to state. In 2018 to 19, a quarter of the total paddy sales and only 20% of wheat sales were under MSP. So you can see that it's not evenly distributed throughout the country, and that's why the people fighting for this particular agricultural incentive are usually from the northern states of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Now, legalizing MSP for all 23 crops as the farmers are demanding means no one can go below that particular price, which is advantageous for farmers, right? Stable income and a definite floor price beyond which private buyers themselves can't go. By the way, the government benefits a lot from this too, with food security, increased production leading to exports, and a strong agricultural base. but it comes with a lot of problems too. The number one is that the cost of maintaining MSP along with procuring and storing those crops is exceptionally huge. The government could end up spending anywhere between 6 lakh crores with a law like that, which is almost around the infrastructural spending each year. However, the net loss is a lot lower than that, because the ultimate loss is going to be how much the farmers sell in the open market and at the price at which they buy from the farmers. Now, we don't have to do the math, thankfully. Business Today has done that math, and they have estimated the loss to be around 21,000 crore, which is still a lot of money. The other thing is that the ideal situation for Indian agriculture is to be driven by the market forces of supply and demand, like the industry and services sector. In a recent speech by the Argentinian president which he gave to the WEF, which almost broke the internet, he talks about how for a market to completely function, it should be free from almost all sorts of government intervention, and that a market failure can only happen if a government intervenes and disturbs the forces of demand and supply. Now, I'm not saying that the market should be completely left free. If it was, drugs like cocaine and fentanyl would be running around the market, but the desire is that it should be as minimal as possible, and the government should regulate it without disturbing the forces of demand and supply. But with that being said though, the suppliers in this market are still vulnerable and poverty stricken, that is the farmers. Although the number of farmers are huge, the number of private buyers are really less. This results in a buyer's market where they are exerting undue influence over the market prices and profiting from it. Along with that, farmers cannot predict prices when they decide to sow a crop. And so if the prices suddenly start going down, they face huge losses, right? So anyway, in conclusion, no one knows what the right choice or the middle ground is, not even the government. But one thing for sure is that the MSP is necessary for now, but it is not the main solution. According to experts, the main solution is public investment and the spread of technology. But as for this issue, we still have to see what happens with it. The most likeliest outcome is that certain crops will be included under MSP and will be legalized, especially with the elections coming near. The other thing that people have been talking about is granting direct income support for farmers, say a fixed amount of money based on their land holdings. But like I said, the best situation would be for agriculture to be market driven, and the government should work towards making that possible. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.